Hello. I'm trying. I'm trying. Hello. I'm trying a new mic out. Well, not new. I've had it for a while. Kind of want to see what it sounds like. Had it for a while. Kind of want to see what it sounds like. Had it for a while. Okay, so it sounds pretty good. Okay. Pop you back up. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Welcome back to another stream. Yeah. Episode 3 of trying to get to 5K irating. I did do, I think, like 2 races off stream the other night and did not go very well. So, kind of just a recap. We ended last stream at 2.19, safety rating 1937, irating, and then, wait, was that? Hold on. Okay, sorry. And then, first race did pretty poorly. Got into a decent amount of accidents. Dropped our safety rating and irating back down. But the final race I was able to do pretty well. Got it back up to 1948 irating and 215 safety rating. So, still not anywhere near 5K irating, but hey, at least I had a little bit of fun. That just sounds like a bad idea to instantly hop into a race around the Nürburgring with no practice and downloading a brand new setup. So we will probably skip on that. I know last stream I did do some Formula races. I may want to, or may hop back into that and do a few. We'll see. Just depends how I feel and how things go. Going into oval, still, well, not a rookie in oval, but I don't know. I just don't really get into oval racing. Only if it's like IndyCar. That's when I really get into it. But that's beside the point. So let's go back over to sports car. This is still working, right? Cool. Still streaming? Yup. Awesome. Okay. Sweet. Yes. I hope that didn't pop up. Hold on. I may... Sorry, give me 1 second. I may have to update some firmware. Potentially. Haha, I do. I have to update my wheel. Yep, cool. Oh, that sucks. But okay, that works. So, get that firmware set up. So, shouldn't take very long. Yeah. Hope everyone's having a pretty good day. Hopefully everyone had a safe Memorial Day weekend. Didn't go too crazy. Excuse me. Except for that Indy 500 race. Holy shit, dude. I didn't watch all of it, like the first half, but I was able to watch it while I was at work, and I watched the final few laps, and oh my god, that was a fucking race. Uh-oh. What's my wheel doing? Okay. PC mode. Physical center. Proceed. Technically, I do have 2 wheels, so I will have to update my other wheel. Just in case. Oh, that one's already up to date? Cool. Never mind. Version out to date. Can now be closed. Cool. But yeah, that 500 race was insane. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the closest finish in IndyCar history, or at least for the 500. I do have. Sorry, I'm just looking at my calibrations. My braking is pretty sensitive. Maybe I can check that in iRacing by itself. Okay. Actually, real quick. Okay, cool. Again, sorry about the background noise, the constant like air moving. I do have a fan going on, so that's why. Test drive, and then we'll see how it goes. See what we can do with, because I've noticed. Well, so actually yesterday, I ended up buying BMG and just messing around on it. It was really fun. But come to find out, whenever I like rest my foot on the brake pedal, it like slightly puts brake pressure on. So I wonder if that's the same in iRacing. I don't think it is. I think I have a dead zone for that very reason, but maybe I want to up it just in case. So let me just take a little peek-see at that. But yeah, that IndyCar race was crazy. I mean, when will Pato O'Ward get his chance to win the race? I mean, not even get his chance. I mean, he's had multiple chances, but yet he's never been able to. Yeah, see. Okay. Handbrake. Where is it? It may. Driver's view. Trying to see. Interface? No, that would be it. Key bindings now. Force feedback. So, say, bump it down to that. I thought I had a hold on, let me shit. I thought I had it set up to where there was a you know what I'm trying to say, like a dead zone for my pedals. Oh, I am pushing all the wrong buttons. Okay, that can be closed. Just give me a new desktop. Fanatec. Yeah, because I haven't really noticed it in iRacing, but pedal values, man, gosh. Ah, here it is. Set minimum. Is that? Is that not working? Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, it is. Cool. Okay, let's reset. I got some time before before that race pops up. Okay. Reset automatic calibration. Let's get that back going. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. Awesome. I think I fixed it. Oh yeah. I'm still streaming, right? Yep, sure am. Cool. That would have been bad. Anyways. Alrighty, let's do some testing. Shit. Maybe not, because I don't have a setup. Oh, there's always something. I don't think I have one. Yeah, I don't. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Un momento, por favor. Oh, that's loud. No, that's not the right one at all. iRacing filters, season 2, week 11, I want to say. Cut car. Yes, cool. Download you. And then pow. Awesome. Got that in there. X that out. Turn you back on. Okay. And then go in here. Sure. Okay. Now we should be ready. I have raced around this track a few times before, but, excuse me, they've only been in GT3s. Like a lot of other things. So we'll see how it goes. Not sure when the next race starts. In 15 minutes. Cool. Get that corn out of my face. Nacho Libre. Out of curiosity. Oh. Yup. Pretty sure this is episode 3. Well, just like episode 4 or something like that. I don't know. But, speaking of, or going back to the IndyCar race, unfortunately, we did not have what we're typically used to is the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and then the Coca-Cola 600, pretty much like the holy grail, or pretty much like Christmas for any motorsport enthusiasts. But we did get the Canadian Grand Prix instead of the Monaco Grand Prix. And honestly, I think, it's not even I think, the Canadian Grand Prix should stay with the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 because we all know, Monaco has been on the F1 calendar from the very beginning. We know the history and so on and so forth, but from a spectator's point of view, it has become so boring. Granted, we will see with these quote-unquote new regulations on how it affects Monaco, because the cars are smaller, so maybe it would be able to put together some more wheel-to-wheel racing on the streets of Monaco, but I don't have high hopes for it. I mean, the F1 season is starting to heat up quite a bit. Fucking shout out to Kimi Antonelli for being the first driver in Formula 1 history to win 4 races. Excuse me. To win their first 4 races back to back to back to back. No other driver has ever done that. Lewis Hamilton has never done it. Michael Schumacher has never done it. No one has. And only having been his second year of Formula 1, and let's be honest, taking the fight to George Russell for the championship is pretty fucking impressive. You know, it is bad luck for George when he had his engine pretty much blew at the race last week. But I mean, before that, it seemed like Kimi was he was definitely keeping it even with Russell, if not being a little bit faster at some points of the race. And oh my god, dude, are we witnessing another Mercedes teammate debacle? Because during that race, Kimi Antonelli, there's multiple times where both Mercedes were within a few inches of taking each other out. Like, thank God that we have, with the new engine regulations, obviously Mercedes are absolutely dominant the season for the most part. Thank God we have we have 2 drivers in the top team fighting it out, because if it was Hamilton and Valtteri half the field not finish for some reason or another. Like gearbox failures, we had amp failures, we had accidents, we had Oscar Piastri absolutely side-swiping Albon and taking him out. We had Lando Norris, you know, his engine, or no, his gearbox just completely blew up. Also, let's talk about the fact that both McLarens started on the intermediate tires despite having 3 formation laps. Like, what the fuck is that all about? Like, you had Oscar Piastri on the radio saying, we should probably go to dries, and they still stuck with inters. Like, I don't know what their thought process was, because from that moment, throughout the entire race, both drivers were trying to make up for lost time. And hence why Piastri was going for big moves and, you know, causing contact with other drivers. Also, apparently, like, not apparently, but clearly, the track temperature and the tires were not in the right operating window because everyone was locking up. And not just like at this exact part of the circuit, it was throughout the whole time that people were locking up. Which you don't really see that happen. But yeah, fucking Lando Norris with that crazy start, even on the inters. I mean, there's been some pretty lackluster races the last few weeks. But this one is definitely made up. And it's crazy to think, like, we're not even halfway through the season yet. It feels like we are because we took pretty much like a month break between round 2, round 3. I have no idea what type of times I'm doing. I'm just okay, a full second. But yeah, this is, I don't know, this season is definitely not over. Also, let's talk about the fact the mechanical failure that Sergio Perez had. Like, when he pulled up into his grid box, or his pit box, it looked like he was in a pretty big accident with someone on the grid. Or someone, you know, was wheel to wheel with him. But it legit, like, his suspension arms just failed and completely destroyed the car. Which, I mean, obviously you don't see a whole lot anymore because a lot of teams have been in the sport for so long, but literally, you know, Cadillac are still very, very fresh to the sport, and they have had really bad reliability issues, as you expect. But like something like that's even crazy. Well, because like you could tell that Sergio Perez was coming in to retire the car because you could tell in the steering that something was not right. And he's like, hey, I'm coming in. And sure enough, he fucking arm, or the suspension arm, just gave out. Completely destroyed the front of the car. How did I find this out? much of a NASCAR fan anymore. I think so. When I was growing up, I was a really big NASCAR fan. Oh fuck. I heard like the Coca-Cola 600 came down to the last lap as well. So. Yeah, that 8500 race was insane. You know, we had a little bit of everything. I don't think they broke the record, but I think it was the second most lead changes in the 8500's history. Like, that's pretty insane. And I mean, even up until, honestly, up until like the last lap, you had no idea who was going to win. I just, I think if Pato O'Ward got a better start, when he started second, I think he could have won. But he had a horrendous restart. With only a few laps to go. Also, let's talk about fucking Mick Schumacher being a lap down behind the front two, Rosenquist and O'Ward. And homie's like, you know what? I'm just gonna unlap myself. He just completely goes around the outside of both of them. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I mean, in IndyCar, flags don't exist, so, you know, more power to you. But, like, you're fighting for the win. I get with, like, a safety car, like, you would be able to stay on the lead lap, which is pretty beneficial in the 8500. But, like, dude, like, you could have easily ended either one of them. Could have ended either one of them their races. Jesus Christ. But, I mean, the last few weeks have been really good if you're a motorsport fan. You had the 3 big races, Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon 6 came out. I've heard mixed reviews about it. I mean, it's a Forza title. And it's honestly been carrying the Forza franchise for a couple years now. I mean, I've heard really good things about it over so many reviews. I've never really been a Forza fan, so I mean, I played Horizon 5 a while back, just for like fun, and I enjoyed it. But Sorry for coughing. I still have the. I don't even know what it is. It's not like the flu. It's not a cold. But it's like I keep getting like phlegm stuck in my throat and mucus. Don't know why. Where's my beautiful wife up to? Oh, wow. That was fast. But yeah, 500 race was pretty insane. Pretty insane. Oh no, I think. Yeah, I know the 6 hours of Indy is a few months away. I really want to go to that because I went to the Indy 500 the last 2 years. I wasn't able to go this year because my fiance and I just got back from a trip to Tennessee, which was definitely needed. And plus, I've always wanted to go to like an IMSA event because I've heard like they're very more open with um, uh, what's the word? With fans to where like, hey, like you don't have to pay a certain amount to come see the cars or be close to the cars. Like you can just be close to the cars. And that's what I really want. Because I really wanted that for the 500, but like obviously those prices would be insane. But I think my brother also mentions something about him coming down for the Brickyard in a month or two. Sorry if you hear whining. That's my dog in the background. I don't know why she's whining. Okay. Let's see if we can get a good qualifying round. close to a few other guys. Let's see, how many do we got? Okay. Got not a lot, but got a decent amount of Toyotas. One Renault. Oh wow, there's only a few Mazda. So it looks like it's going to be mainly the Toyotas. So that means probably won't have a whole lot of heavy traffic. Not sure though, because with those long straights we could probably catch up to traffic pretty fast. So oh no, we'll see. Time will tell. Ow. My neck hurts. Oh no. Mom's home. I'll mute. It's gonna be a while before they stop playing, so I will apologize. Hello, Jeff. No, Jeff? Jeff is not speaking to me today. Okay. How the fuck are you in this lobby? Oh, wait, it's because it's rookie. That's why. Duh. Jesus. 6,812. Alrighty. So, yeah, pretty high lobby. Talk to me, Jeff. Sir Jeff. That's his name, right? His name's Jeff. Pretty sure he is. Watch, it's not Jeff, and I've been calling him wrong this entire time. I do know for the longest time, the engineer in the F1 games was named Jeff. Until he got replaced by Mark, I want to say. Random and useless fact. I guess Jeff's not gonna want to talk to me today. Fine, Jeff. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. I don't need you anyway. see. I see what happened. Main audio output device. My headphones. That's what happened. Okay. Voice pack. I don't know. Cool. Okay. So that should work now. Forgot to change it with my. Okay. Ooh. Stretch the hand. Okay, real quick. Let's see what type of rating we got after that. Yeah, Mom. Never driven those cars before. Oh God, Tsukuba. Ooh. Mount Mount Panorama. There it is. Fuck. Did I go up? Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Probably would have been a lot better if I didn't have that little contact with that one guy, but wow. He's getting down to 52 ones. That's crazy. That is bonkers indeed. Okay. Ooh. Oh, there's only 6 drivers though? That sucks. Okay. Cool. On that note, I am gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break. I'll probably be back later this evening. Not sure what time, but that way we can do some more racing and all of that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It does mean a lot. And I will see you next time. Peace.